Meeple Nation Podcast, episode 584, a look at market games.
Welcome, citizens, to Meeple Nation. Grab your favorite beverage, pull up a chair, warm up those dice, and join us at the game table as we discuss board games and the board gaming world. Each week, the hosts of Meeple Nation share their love for board games and the amazing memories that come from playing games with some very outstanding people. Let us now join our hosts in their natural habitat, the game table.
This week, in contrast to our open drafting mechanic that we've been doing for the last few episodes, this week we are going to focus on games that use a market. So there is a lot of similarity between those two games. However, market has a little bit of a different feel than just the simple open draft, but they hold hands.
Sure, yeah,
They're a friendly mechanic.
definitely. There might be a little bit of crossover, actually. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. We'll try to hit on some of those, what makes them different. And then this list has some games that maybe we haven't played. Just kind of a whole cornucopia of market-style games. So we are the hosts of Meeple Nation. I'm Nathan Howard.
I'm Andy Holliday.
Doug is absent again today, so like last time, we're just the world's most okay podcast. Or we're the world's okayest podcast. I can't remember what I said last week.
It's okay. It's just not the most. We're just the okayest.
We're just the okayest podcast.
Come on, Doug.
Come on. We have our website that is also still, even without Doug being here, still is the most okayest website. It has links to past episodes, has a link to the SaltPOD, bios, all of our socials are there. Feel free to email us anytime at meeplenation@gmail.com. Or if you want to have more Meeple Nation content, we would love to have you as a patron of the podcast. Go over there, jump onto that, and be a supporter. Kind of the way that we keep the lights on. We did a small run. A small runt?
A small runt. Hey.
A small run.
And then you repeat yourself there.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that nobody missed my okayness. We had a small run where we were trying to add ads, and we just decided that we're not going to charge for stuff. If you want to support the podcast, we'd love for you to be a patron. If not, enjoy the podcast. Have it as it is.
For sure.
With that, I'm going to hand it off to you, Andy.
All right. Well, let's talk about our sponsorship. Meeple Nation, the Meeple Nation podcast is sponsored by GameToppersLLC.com. Head over to the website. They have some awesome products. Toppers for any surface. In fact, you can put it on your dining room table and buy some dining covers, and it is now a table that you don't ever have to take the topper off of. Awesome mats, just amazing mats, high quality, stitched edge, great accessories, cup holders, goblet holders, dice trays, dice towers, tons of stuff. Check them out. GameToppersLLC.com. Upgrade your game night.
Andy?
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. That's the new sound effect, I think.
Okay.
Highlight 30.
We should record that so that...
Probably not. It's a little annoying as I made it the second time.
Is it?
Yeah. So I'm not going to... I want to say it. I want to say it. I want to make the noise a third time, but I found it annoying myself, so I'm not...
didn't.
Yeah.
I'll have to wait till next week.
You have to wait till next week and listen to it twice.
Yeah. All right.
But anyways, this is the last episode we're recording pre-SaltCON as we're prepping.
Yes.
And I didn't have to, but I really wanted to get River of Gold to the table again in a teaching environment.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had played this game with my wife, but it had been a while. She needed a reteach on it when we played it. And this was very nice. It was just her and I that played this. It's a little bit more of a complex game for her. I think the game is actually fairly simple to understand. There's a wide net of ways to score points and things to do that will advance your victory point token. It was a great time to sit and play this game with her. Very much enjoyed it because it does have a BGA implementation. I can get her. You roll your eyes as soon as I say that. But I can get her to play that now. Speaking of BGA, BGA is awesome, Andy, because I get the opportunity, my youngest daughter, Sunday dinner together, and we played Flip 7.
Okay.
And she very much enjoyed this game. My older daughter convinced her to do a BGA account. And so I was like, yeah, you do that and we can play these online. And she came back in 2 weeks and she had already played 100 games of Flip 7 on
You're
BGA.
kidding me. Who was she playing with?
Just random people.
Just
'Cause
random
she doesn't have a premium account, right? She just has the free account.
Yeah.
Waits for somebody to say, "Hey, who wants to play Flip 7?" And she was like, "Boom, I'm playing.
Wow.
And she was way excited to come back because she was like, "I know how to play this game. I've mastered this game now." And she still lost when she came back. Because you can't necessarily master the game, right? The game it's all available at what comes out and when you choose to not press your luck.
Yep.
But yeah, it is a luck-based game. But it is great. She came back the next weekend and she wants to play more games. Sent her some invites of games that I thought she had played in the past. Madeline wasn't my gaming daughter. She was very much the social daughter. She was out very much involved in friends and activities, and we became less cool to her. While Ashley, she was kind of more not antisocial, but she had her close-knit friends, but she still did a lot of stuff with us.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley was more of the gamer, and Madeline had a life to live, and she was out living it. But short story long, so I thought she had already played Azul, so I invited her to a game of Azul, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm just pushing buttons. We need to learn how to play this."
She'd never played it before.
Yeah, and so we taught her, and then she came back the week after that, and she's like, "All right, we need to teach Jake so that I can convince Jake to get a BGA account so that we can play this game online."
Nice.
BGA is, as much as you roll your eyes at it,
I just closed my eyes and shook my head.
Yeah.
It wasn't an eye roll. It might have been under my eyelids.
I could hear the eye roll. But BGA is a great tool to allow people to get together for games. I mean, I play a ton of games with Corey. I play games with Jody, with Josh, and with I shouldn't have started naming names because I know I was going to forget people. But it is kind of funny that the people that I'm playing games with, how they have gone up on my list. Like Cheryl's at the top of my list, which I'm very glad for. You know, then the normal names, right? Doug, Andy, Dave, all those names are there. Richie, and then some older names are there. And then at the top of the list, then you got Corey, who lives in New Jersey, and I've played 331 games with Corey. I've played 327 games with Jody.
Wow. And that's just been, how long have you been playing games with Jody online? A year and a half, maybe?
Maybe not even that long. It's Brad started to join our group. I've been playing a lot of games with Brad. We even started some games with Al Stewart, who was really kind and sent me his STL for Ethnos.
Oh, okay.
And he sent me one version, and then he's like, "Hey, this is the second version that I have. It takes more time to print. It takes less PLA, but it looks cooler. It has kind of like a crate looking."
Do you have a printer?
Mesh. I don't, but James printed it for me.
Oh, he just printed it with his
Yeah, so I just sent the file to James. James printed it for me.
Nice.
We're playing a game of Ethnos online, playing a ton of games with Josh and his friend Mike. And so BGA gives you that opportunity to play games with people that you wouldn't on a normal basis.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm a big fan of BGA.
I know you are. And it's cool that you got your daughter to do more games with you. I think that's great.
I think so, too. All right, so let's talk about the market. Or did you do your highlight?
I didn't.
Yeah, I was so busy talking about me. It's all about me, Andy.
It's always just about Nathan. You know, I don't even need to talk about my highlight because it really doesn't matter at this point.
It doesn't matter. No one cares. Moving on. So Market McKinnon.
So last weekend we got to go to Claudine's daughter. Our friend Claudine, her daughter got married. So we went down and it worked out great because we already had a game night planned for that weekend. Then we got the announcement and like, oh, that's on Friday, and we have Aeons Trespass Odyssey planned. One of the players in that game happens to be Will Day, and Will lives in Salt Lake City. He actually lives like 11 minutes away from where the reception was.
Oh, nice. That's really convenient.
Yeah, so we were like, hey, and he's been wanting to play at his house anyway, so we're like, well, let's just go down there. We'll play at your place after we get done with the reception, and that's what we did. We went down to the reception, we visited for a while, saw a lot of our friends that we haven't seen since August of last year, tiptoed over for an 11-minute tiptoe over to Will's house, and we played Aeons Trespass Odyssey until about midnight. And
Excellent.
the drive home kind of stunk, but hey, I made it home without falling asleep, and I was ready to fall asleep at the table by the end of the night. So yeah, it was great. That game's amazing. I'm glad that Justin is one of the guys that's playing. He knows it very well, and I'm glad that he's there to kind of run it.
Walk you through it.
Because there's a lot. I should really just learn exactly what he's doing, but I don't, and I really should.
It is nice to take advantage of somebody that is willing to teach the game and knows the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I have done that for sure. Like, there's plenty of games that somebody's like, "Hey, can you teach me this game? You played a lot." No. I can play it.
Yeah.
Can I teach it? No.
Yeah, that would be one. I would fall into that category for this because I own it and all of like the expansions and everything for it. It's one I really should learn how to just run. And he was trying to teach me, but there's just so much that it's hard to keep up.
And you probably got Henri.
I didn't actually.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I hardly ever get Henri, Nathan.
Yeah, so that's what you got Henri.
It's only when certain games come out, forced to play certain games, party games,
area control,
direct conflict games,
fun games,
bow staff skills. I feel like we're in a Napoleon Dynamite episodes here. Anyway, it was good times. We schedule a new time that we're going to play every single time we finish because it's one that we want to get through. And this year is the year of campaign games for me. I am trying to bust through as many campaigns that we've started as possible, and we're making pretty dang good progress.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. We're almost through June now, so
yeah.
Are you through half of your campaigns?
Most of them, the rate we're playing them, which is about once a month, we won't get through them, but we'll make some good progress.
Well, that's good.
So
something to build on for sure.
For sure.
All right. And now that you're done, right?
I kind of feel like I didn't talk long enough, but yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
What have you been watching on TV?
We almost finished Andor.
Yeah, Andor.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
We have 2 episodes left and I cannot wait to watch. It got to be about midnight last night and I was talking to Sabrina. I'm like, do we want to watch the next one? But if we do, I'm going to want to watch the last one.
Yes.
So let's just go to bed.
Yeah.
Because it's getting really good.
It's kind of funny because that second season, you start off and, where he steals the TIE fighter and that whole scenario there, you're kind of like, did they not
what happened?
I mean, the last season was so great. And then we got this and it just kind of felt like it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then the next arc went and you're like, oh, this is getting pretty good. And then that third arc ended you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it got amazing. The last 2 episodes, so I'm guessing the last 4. So the last third of that season is, I think it's awesome. Like the first part of the season, my son Caden was asking me, so which season do you like better, the first or the second? I'm like, I like the first better.
Oh yeah, first better. And then you get to that and you're like, holy cow,
he asked me last
amazing.
night. Yeah, he asked me last night, Dad, you still like the first better? I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
I like the second one better now.
Yeah, you're fully aware that as soon as I finished it, I was like nonstop anytime. Andor was amazing. Andor this, Andor that.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was great. Anyways, all right. Have you talked enough now?
Yeah, take it away.
Any places
I think I'm good for the rest of
the.
I think I'm good for the rest of the episode. Actually.
Oh, okay. So I'll just go over the rest of this myself.
Just take it away. I'll listen.
Okay, sounds
ready.
Good.
Go.
So the market mechanic, in essence, simulates a dynamic economy within the board game. Unlike a simple take from the pile mechanic, the market mechanic has life to it. So some stuff the value can change. Some stuff the amount of availability can change. The players have the ability to affect what is available and kind of have the ability to affect how much it's going to cost and the scarcity of it. And there's other things that can control. It's not just resources, it's cards, it's all those items that can be in a market and can become fluctuating. So what makes a mechanic? I love my language.
I did too. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk.
Oh, yeah, shush. So what makes the market mechanic so engaging is the tension that it creates. Players are constantly evaluating not just what they need, but also, what can I do to stop my opponent or slow my opponent? They may be eyeing what is currently available and what it is worth, and kind of evaluating, do I spend it? Do I spend the big money now, or do I hold off on purchasing that and hoping that I'm going to be able to purchase later for cheaper? Markets can take different forms. So you have a static market where the items are always available, and you have dynamic markets, which I think we're going to probably hit on more than not. And these are where the price can change, the rare scarcity of a product can change, and then there's the rotating markets where kind of with the scarcity, where things can come in and out of the market and may not be available. And then the fourth option is kind of the I cut, you choose. So this is what came out, and I'm going to cut it, and you choose. I don't know why I had to explain it twice, but I did.
It's clear now.
Oh, thank you. It was the second time, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Totally.
So we discussed open market or open drafting the last 3 episodes, and we talked about how these kind of go hand in hand. So we're going to try to see how these relate back and forth. There's going to be some different games that we're going to be talking about, and there may be some same games that we're going to be talking about, and how the market changes from the open draft. And hopefully we'll hit on that in a way that is entertaining. Market games are all about optimizing your purchase, anticipating what other people are going to be buying, adapting to how the market changes, and so that you can set yourself up and make the best of your economic value within that game. So with that, we got another long list of games.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to lay this out for you, Andy. And you can, any game that sticks out to you, whether you've played it or not. Well, actually, I'm going to kick us off, because there's a game on here that I'm very much excited, that I think nails this market mechanic, and that is Power Grid.
Okay, yeah.
Power Grid was in my top 5 in the open drafting, but the market in Power Grid is all about those resources. Trying to make oil scarce, or the nuclear power option scarce, and being able to influence so that you can buy resources cheaper to power your maybe more expensive power plants, but not having to spend the money on a more expensive power plant that maybe uses less resources, it's more efficient to power more houses. That market is what makes the game.
For sure. I mean, that
is
the game, essentially,
It is
right?
the game, yeah.
So, yeah.
And it is the player who's going to win is the player who's going to be able to monopolize on what is available and what power plants they buy, and be able to manage what they're doing with what's available at the cheapest price.
And you kind of have the dual market there, right? So you have the market where you actually are buying the power plants, and then you have the resource market to fuel those power plants.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a matter of managing all of that that's going to win you the game. You could get a power plant that's just going to be amazing, except you have to run it.
Yeah.
And you may run into some serious issues when you're trying to run that power plant, and it may not be economic for you to run at all, because the resources you need are so scarce and so expensive. So yeah, being able to manage those markets in that game is huge. That is how you win the game.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. That's a good one. The one that stood out to me, honestly, as we were talking about it, and it's one that has a static market, and it is a very simple market, and it's one that you only sell at. You don't ever buy, and it's not on this list, I don't think. And it's Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah, it is not on this list. It should be.
So there's a market action, right? And you sell at that market. Now the rule is you can sell anything you want at the market as long as it's not already sitting in the market, unless you have the building that allows you to break that rule. So if I have coffee, I can sell the coffee at the market, and it's going to sell for the more than anything else. It sells for 4 coins, the tobacco for 3, and sugar for 2, and the indigo for 1, and then the corn you don't earn anything. But if I sell coffee, and Nathan, you only have coffee to sell, you can't sell at the market until that market is completely full. Then it will empty out, and then you can sell whatever you want in that market again. It's one of those mechanics that, in a game where money is extremely important and can be extremely scarce,
yeah,
it is a very, very important part to not ignore and to try to take full advantage of. especially because you have the shipping where you're shipping your resources. Most people want to save their tobacco and their coffee to sell at the market rather than ship off, because you get 1 point whether it's corn or coffee. If you load it on the ship, you're getting 1 point for that barrel.
Right.
So it's far more beneficial to manage that so that you can have enough coffee or tobacco to sell at the market and not just fill up ships with those more valuable resources. That's one of the few examples I think we're going to have of a static market versus the dynamic market, which I think most of the markets on this list are going to be dynamic.
Yep, I think you are correct. That's a great game. I hadn't. I just went off the top list, and I was surprised that didn't show up, because that's a very good game.
That is a great game.
One that is kind of new to our group, and I am very excited to have picked it up, is Clans of Caledonia. And this is one you haven't played yet, right?
I have.
Oh, you did play it?
I think so.
I don't think you did.
Maybe not. Let me look at it. I have not.
Yeah.
I want to, because this looks cool.
Yeah, this is one that Doug was a little bit not sold on. One where you are responsible for trying to put out your workers, hire workers. You have woodcutters and you have miners, and then you're going to try to take advantage of your cows that produce milk, your sheep that produce wool, and then you're trying to use those basic goods that are going to help you produce advanced goods. You're going to turn your milk into cheese, and I can't remember what the other ones are, but it's a great game. And that you are trying to advance your workers across the board. You have to pay for the sites that the land that you're occupying, and only one person can occupy that land. But there's ways to take advantage. If somebody moves in next to you, you can buy stuff. But the goal of the game is you're trying to fulfill orders, and because this is a game of the Scottish clans where they are trying to adjust from purely an agricultural society to something where they're introducing trade, and they're trying to become more not necessarily
just farming.
Yeah, they're wanting to expand, and they're wanting to sell their whiskey.
Okay.
Buying stuff, the market becomes scarce, and when you're selling too much stuff, the market becomes bullish. Did I say that right? Is it bear? Anyways, it becomes the price goes down, right? If there's too much of it in the market, then the market's flooded with that good, and
it's a bear market.
Yeah, and so then you're able to buy it cheaper, but then you can hopefully come back and fulfill your resources, and then if you're producing that, then you're going to want to make sure the market is primed for selling stuff at a higher price, and so that you can earn that money. This game is, in my opinion, probably one of my favorite newer games that I've picked up. Very much enjoy it. It does have a great BGA implementation, but it is very much a great on-table experience as well, and something you need to play.
I do need to play. And by new, you mean 8 years old.
It is 8 years old. It's new to our group.
Yeah,
I guess I should say that. New to our group.
It's one that I have looked at so many times in the game store and never picked up, but it looks amazing. So I'm glad that you have it, and I am anxious to try it. Awesome. All right, well, the one of the games that we played, I'm going back to kind of way back to an older game. This game was published back in 2006. So we're going way back. This is almost 20 years old. Yet this game, I think, still holds its own. And that's The Pillars of the Earth. And this is based on the Ken Follett novel of the same name, The Pillars of the Earth. If you've read this book, it's like a crazy, thick, really long book, but it's good. It's a good. I've listened to it. I haven't read it. I've listened to the audiobook for it, and it was good. But essentially, you're building the cathedral, and there's a market, a resource market. There's actually, in my opinion, a couple markets. So you have the market that's going to be the workers, your craftsmen that you're going to be trying to gain. And then you also have the resource market that as you are trying to use your craftsmen to either produce points, produce other things, you're going to use those craftsmen, and those craftsmen must use raw materials in order to be essentially fuel their abilities. So you have a resource market that's going to have wood, stone, and I believe it's clay or sand. I can't remember which one. It's been a while since I've played it. Typical type market differs from the open drafting is where that market you have the price will fluctuate depending on how flooded, kind of like what you were talking about with the last game you talked about, the clans of Caledonia. As that market, you get more and more resources on there, the cheaper it gets. So wood, it's flooded with wood. I can now buy wood for super cheap. I'm going to buy that wood, and wood is now way more expensive because I just bought all of it. This game's a great game. It's one that we really need to play more often. We played the heck out of it when I first got it, when it first came out, and just like anything else that's old like that, it kind of gets forgotten on the shelf. But as I talk about it, I think it stands the test of time on great games. There's a lot of strategy involved. There is a lot going on the board. It doesn't have the same. Actually, the artwork's amazing. So, unlike a lot of those older games where you're like, okay, well, the artwork kind of stinks on that. I think it holds its own even now, being almost 20 years later. It's a great game, and it has some good market mechanics in it.
So it was kind of funny in our group chat with Claudine. She posted that Amazon had Pillars of the Earth on sale for $10.
No kidding.
Yeah, and she says if you get a second copy, you can build yourself a do-it-yourself expansion. So I guess there's the information, and she shared a link for the DIY Pillars of the Earth expansion set made with a spare copy of base Pillars of the Earth.
Really?
Yeah. And so I'll try to put a link to that in the show notes. So let me make a note of that. I'm sure the copy of Pillars of the Earth is no longer $10.
Probably not.
But if you find a second copy, this link will be here to show you how to do a do-it-yourself expansion for Pillars of the Earth.
You can get it for $15 on Amazon.
There you go.
So it's still pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, so maybe that's something Andy's doing right now so he can expand his.
How did you know that? Are you watching me?
I'm always watching. So while you're buying a second copy of Pillars of the Earth, I wanted to talk about Tiny Epic Pirates. I think one of the only Tiny Epic games that has this style of market.
I think you're right.
But this is your pirates, you're out pillaging, and you're gaining resources, and then you're going to take those resources to market to sell, and hopefully you're going to do it before the other players do, because if you can sell it while the market's high, you're going to make more doubloons. Yep. And doubloons are what's going to help you win the game. In these market games, and this style of market, dynamic markets, you're going to run into a lot of that, trying to take control or eliminate stuff in the market from your opponents, or sell high, buy low. Tiny Epic Pirates was, Brad is teaching it at SaltCON Summer, or I guess taught it, depending on when you listen to this. Actually, everybody's going to be listening to this after SaltCON. Yeah. But for us currently, it's coming up. But now I've rambled way too long. Brad taught Tiny Epic Pirates, and we introduced me to the mechanic, or introduced me to the game. We played it when it first came out, and then it just kind of went on the shelf.
It's one of the better. I really
liked it.
It's great. I think that's one of the better Tiny Epic games.
Yeah, and so I would like to play it again. And I'd like to see that come off the shelf on a regular basis. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure if this is on the list, but it is. That's Wasteland Express Delivery Service. I love this game so much.
I know you do.
It's so much fun.
It's a great game.
It is a great game.
Yeah.
You're wandering around the wastelands trying to pick up stuff, and it's a pickup and delivery game with a market, a dynamic market. So as you sell things, so I actually really like how this market works. When you sell something, so if I'm going to go and drop something off at one of the strongholds, fulfilling a contract or something that they want, right? Because there's little tokens that get placed out there that are demand tokens. I'm filling a demand in one of, let's just say that they want water. I have water to sell, and I can sell as much water as I want to them. Now, when I sell that water, I get to sell all of it at whatever the price is. So if the price is at $6, then I'm going to get $6 for each water I sell. But if I sell 4 water there, then that value is going to drop down 4 ticks. So now water's only worth $2 instead of $6 each. However, I still earn $6 for each barrel of water that I delivered. I really like that in the market because you can really take advantage of, okay, water's high. I'm going to try to get as much as I can delivered to fulfill this contract and deliver as much as I can and just come out way, way richer. And then the market's just going to tank.
Yeah.
which can be very strategic, right? As you're going along, and then a new token will come out once that demand token's fulfilled. A new token comes out, and then that's how the market raises up. When a new token comes out, it'll say, okay, well, this stronghold that you just delivered to now wants food, so the food market is going to move up one tick, or depending on how much food they want, it'll move up that many spaces. So as far as that goes, this is one of my favorite market mechanics, because it is one of those that you can kind of really take advantage of when you have that high value market.
Yeah.
More so than a lot of other games where I buy one, the price now got more expensive. I buy another one, now the price got more expensive, right? But it can help you manipulate that market a little bit, where I sell a bunch of stuff, the market drops. Now I can go to a spot where I can buy water, and I'm only buying it for $2 each. And then I can go deliver it later, once that market kicks back up. So
Right.
buy low, sell high concept is a lot easier to do in this game.
Yeah. And this game is just plain fun.
It is so much fun.
Yeah. One that I really enjoy, Foundations of Rome, which was also re-implemented by Foundations of Metropolis, which is it is the exact same game, just with cheaper components. But Foundations
That makes me sad.
It does. It's kind of like playing Skyrise, and then you play the retail version of Skyrise, and you're like, oh, that's a disappointment.
Yeah.
But Foundations of Rome, you have a market that is out there, and each round, if I recall, there's 3 rounds that you're playing, and it has a draw pile, and you have the market, which is 6, 7, 8 cards that are face up. And so each of those cards have a grid location. And so you are going to take one of those cards, and you are going to put it on the board. So if I was G4, then I'm going to put one of my markers on G4. And then if I have spaces that are next to it, then I'm going to be able to put buildings that will fill up that spot, whether it's a single building sometimes, or it's a building that takes up 3 spots. Then if I have 3 connected spots that are in the same format, what do they call that one? It's same format, orientation. If it's oriented the same way, then you can fill up that spot with a larger building that's going to get you more points, more population, more money, whatever it is that building is going to provide. Foundations of Rome is very much a beautiful table presence.
It is.
It is. Both versions of the game are actually very fantastic games, but Foundations of Rome is a very beautiful, beautiful table presence. Foundations of Metropolis is a very affordable, fun experience of the same game. And both, I think, are great. Foundations of Rome is a game that I love because of how accessible it is to play, and it provides great entertainment and a beautiful table presence. Did I say that it was a beautiful table presence?
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
I think I heard you say that.
A beautiful table presence.
Well, not only that, it debunks the theory that big box games are overly complicated and scary.
Yeah, my wife especially. I mean, when Doug brought this big cube out, this gaming cube that's like 2 feet by 2 feet giant thing that drops on the table, she's like, I'm out. The size of that box says that's way too complex.
Yeah.
And it was a very simple game, and she very much enjoyed it and was able to play it and win her first time, which made her like it even more.
Speaking of games that you like and had a really good experience with the first time, Merchants of the Dark Road.
Yeah. You were setting that up too much that I was like, I don't think...
You're like, here it comes. This is one that you really need to play again, Nathan.
I probably should, but I don't think I ever
It has a rondo.
I know. And it's magnetized, too.
And
it was really cool. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever play this game again.
All right.
There's just sometimes you have that experience in a game that, I mean, I don't know. I could probably try it again, but...
With the right people, you should try it again.
Maybe. There'd have to be a pink sugar cookie involved in there somewhere.
We could probably manage that.
Yeah.
We'll just hit crumble first.
There you go.
Get you in a really jolly mood. But anyway, it has the rondo is actually the market, which is like one of your favorite things in the world are rondels.
I do enjoy a good rondel game.
So I mean, the rondel's moving around. You can manipulate that rondel before you purchase something, and you can also sell at the market depending on the value. So where the position of that rondel is going to dictate the value of the different goods that you are crafting. So you're crafting weapons, you're crafting armor. And the weapons can vary from daggers to big swords to iron. There are some of the armor. The armor is huge, and all of those are going to take up space in your wagon.
Right.
And your wagon has a limited amount of space, and ultimately, what you're trying to do is deliver those goods along the dark road to the different villages that are on the dark road, and that's how you're going to earn. That's how you're going to earn points. But selling is worth money, and this is one of those games where you need your points and money to be as close to the same as possible because you're going to score the lower of the two.
Yeah, so this is similar to like Ark Nova has a similar mechanic in it.
Yep, very similar mechanic. I found, and maybe this has changed since they've kind of done some updates to Ark Nova. I found it far less frustrating in this game, the implementation that it had for that particular mechanic here than it did in Ark Nova. But we're not talking about the mechanic. The market mechanic I think is very cool in this game, and it is. I love how easy it is to manipulate it, but at the same time, how volatile it can be when other players are manipulating it before your turn, and you really needed it to be at least in this range so you can get the max value or the lower amount so you can purchase. And someone goes in and messes with that stinking rondel, right?
Mucks it up. Yes.
Mucks it up for you. But overall, this is a really fun game. You're traveling around the road, you're visiting different things, and then at some point, someone's going to go to travel along the dark road. And even if it's not your turn, you can choose to travel with that person. And they can take the light path or the dark path, and there's benefits and risk involved with both of those. But overall, this is a great game. I really have enjoyed our plays of this. That first play was a little rough, admittedly. It took way longer than it should have.
Have you played it since?
A lot of times, actually.
Oh, you played it? Okay.
Yeah, I've played it quite a few times. I actually bought it.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's a great game. It's one that
I sold mine.
Did you? You're like,
as fast as I could.
I'm out. It is great. You need to try it again.
Maybe.
I'll tell you what. I'll try something that I've said I didn't like. Okay, I better be careful when I say that.
Yes, you should, because I got
I better be
cyclades right over there.
You don't want to play that with me anyway.
No, I don't. But if you're going to make me play this again.
If it's two-player, I wouldn't mind playing it. But yeah, I think it's one that you would actually enjoy if you sat down and with an open mind and not a closed heart and tried it again.
That is so great coming from you.
I know. It's very sincere.
Pot, kettle.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you know.
I don't. No idea what you're talking about.
So a simple game, two-player game that I really enjoy is Jaipur. Jaipur is a market game where you're trying to collect resources, and then you are trying to sell those resources. And you have a hand limit of 7 cards or 8 cards, 7 cards, 7 cards. I'm going to say 7 cards. And
I feel like I'm in an auction right now.
7. I got a whole other story about that. But so you have the market row that's there, and when you take a card from the market row, then it's going to be replaced on the next person's turn. So I have the choice. I can just take one card of my choice from the market row and add it to my hand, or I can send back 2 cards from my hand. Or I can take 2 cards from the market row and put 2 cards from my hand back into the market row. And none of those cards can be the same in that exchange. But it's you're just trying to monopolize on what is available in that market row to gather the most. Because you can sell, but you need to have at least 2 goods to sell. And then there are 6 types of goods, some that are more rare, and they're going to give you more victory points, and some that are more common. And when you sell the first one, it's going to get you more victory points, but as you sell the rest, it's going to get you less points. But another thing that you want to try to do is you want to try to expand when you're selling. So if I can sell a set of 3 cards, then I can draw one of the 3 tokens. And the 3 tokens are going to have a smaller amount of bonus points. Or if I sell 4 cards, then those tokens have a higher range of bonus points. Or if I can sell 5, then I have an even higher range of bonus points. So I can sell something that's more common, but I have the opportunity to gain more points than selling 2 of something that's rare. And if I sell something of that's common at 5 points, because of those bonus chips that I'm going to get. And this is a game that's played over 3 rounds, and so it's the best out of 3 rounds. Very quick game. I did say it was a 2-player game, didn't I? Yeah, 2-player game, head-to-head, and
Not all 2-player games are head-to-head.
no, I guess that's true, but most of them are.
Most of them are.
Yeah. But Jaipur is a great, simple 2-player game that you're trying to take control of that market in the middle and make it the most effective to you, what you have in your hand.
I have a game on this list that I've owned for an embarrassing number of years. I kickstarted it that I have not yet played.
Well, I have the earlier version of it.
Yes, you do.
And I still haven't played it.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
I've at least played that one.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah, I've played it once. I don't remember much about it, but I know I've played it once. And I liked it. But this is Glenmore 2. It's funny that you knew exactly where I was going with this. But it's one that looks really good. I don't know. It's one of those where I can't get through the rule book. I don't know why. And maybe I just need to watch some videos on it and learn it and play it because it looks amazing. But there is rumor is that there's a market in this game.
Rumor is there's a market in this game.
I don't remember anything about it. I've gone through the rule book. It looks really good. But I don't know much about it. Like I said, it's been too long since I started reading the rules. I know there's a lot of tiles and there's a market probably for the tiles and for resources. There are cows and pigs and wood and stone and corn. Yep. But it looks like it could be fun. Hopefully. Anyway, it's one that I need to read the rules for. It looks amazing, and it's one that I know my cousin Richie has been bugging me for years. Hey, when are you going to learn this? When are you going to learn this? I'm like, I know, I need to.
Just have him learn it.
I should. It doesn't help that it's where it's out on my shelf. I've kind of put it somewhere where it's a little less embarrassing. So then I just forget about it.
You hide yourself of shame?
Yeah, I have to hide it because I feel so ashamed of myself.
So a game I had and I got rid of, and then we're like, this sounds really good, so I picked it up again, is Chanameeple, the City of Silver. So this is one, much like Glenmore 2, we haven't read the rules for. Yes, it's still in shrink, and but we need to get this to the table. This one that you're joining other ambitious guild leaders in mining, developing the famous City of Silver, and you're trying to influence that market that's in there. It has nice little sliders that dictate what the market value is, and just some nice little touches, and I have some nice metal coins for it as well. But the presence of this game looks really nice, and this is one that and it has asymmetric powers, Andy.
I love it.
So maybe I should just get you to learn this game.
Yeah, maybe so. It can go in the pile with all the other rules I haven't read.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Chanameeple, the City of Silver. Looks like one that we need to get to the table for sure.
Definitely. I've only played this game once, and it is so highly rated. We need to play it again. I don't think you played this with us.
I didn't.
But it was really good, and I want to play it again. And that's Brass Birmingham, and it's on rated. I'm not even sure where it's at on the top 100, but I know it's up. It's within that range. Let me look.
Number 1 overall.
It is ranked number 1 overall. It is the number 1 game. Still, that surprises me. It's still ranked number 1. Anyway, it's a great game. There's a lot to this. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to do. And the fact that you play in if I'm remembering right, you play in 2 different eras or something like that, where the game kind of switches on what you can do and opens up new paths and everything else that you can do. I think it's 2. It might be 3. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've played, but you're basically building routes and selling at the markets and trying to essentially build up your wealth as you play the game. But as far as gameplay goes, I do remember thinking when we were playing it that it would be one that you would really enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need Doug to teach this one again, and that way you can try it. I can't remember what you were doing when we played this.
There was another commitment to teaching some other game that same night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's one of those that I think you would enjoy if you gave it a shot.
Yeah, I think you're right. A game that was just recently kickstarted that I wish I had backed. I have regrets on that one, and that is Galactic Cruise.
That surprises me you didn't. It's space.
I know. That's not always a sure win for me, but and it has purple pieces too. So that's
Oh wow, double whammy.
yeah. Why didn't I back this? I don't know. But this is one that I'm hoping that someone can teach me. Maybe find in a swap somewhere. But it looks really good. And this is I don't have any idea how the market works in this, but it is on this list, and trying to see if there's any market pictures. Pictures kind of remind me a little bit of Voidfall.
Oh no.
Some of the pieces, some of the artwork definitely not, but some of the board mechanics, the tableaus each player has reminds me a little bit of that. But that's where that stops.
Oh yep, I can totally see that. Yeah.
But yeah, Galactic Cruise is one that I would love to get the chance to play. Maybe this is one that Will has for some reason. Every time we talk about a game that, I wish we could play this, wish we could do that, and Will sends us an email and says, hey,
I have it.
We should do it.
I know how to play it. I was introduced to this next game on the list back in BryceCon, and I purchased it. I think I purchased it at BryceCon, like online. It wasn't for sale there, but and this is one that Greg taught us, and that's Windmill Valley.
Oh yeah, I figured you'd be talking about this one.
This is a great game. Now, just to throw it out there, tulips really aren't my thing. I'm not really a flowery guy.
Well, you're missing out.
But that being said, this game's awesome. So the central market, the market is in the center of the board, and all the tulip fields are surrounding, and the other fields, all the fields are surrounding that central market. And when you take a market action, you're going to move your token or your disc to one of the market spaces. That's going to allow you to do specific things that are based on what is shown on that tile. Now, if that's also going to depend how many times you get to do that chosen action will also depend on the number of other discs at that location. So each location has 3 spaces. And if I go to the market where there are 2 other tokens, 2 other discs, so another player or even one of the neutral discs, then I get to take that action that I chose. I get to take it 3 times, which is awesome. So that's typically how you're going to plant flowers. That's how you're going to gain flowers into your little flower box that you can plant. But that's one of the main ways that you get to do that. You have a player board that you have your flowers that you gain from the market, and then you have your little garden area that you're going to plant those flowers, and you're trying to create rows of the same type of flower.
Right.
Because if you do that, then you're going to get the higher point value at the end of that row. And you're trying to complete columns at the same time, because as you complete rows, it's going to give you a end of game scoring and columns. But also, whenever you plant flowers, you cover the space up. Quite often, you're going to get a boon for covering up that space and planting a flower in that particular spot. But the market is definitely an integral part of this, because it is one of the main ways to gain flowers, mostly to gain flowers, but it also is a great way to plant flowers. Also, the player boards on this are awesome, where you have the different cogs, and you're taking actions based on, and you can upgrade the actions on those cogs. So you have basically a water mill or a windmill, and it's to simulate the cogs in that windmill, and that's how you decide which actions you're going to take. It's a cool game. The components are neat. If you can get upgraded components, it's better, obviously. But
let me guess, Greg had upgraded components.
Greg did have upgraded components. I don't have the upgraded components for this, but
slacker.
Even so, it's an amazing game.
Yeah.
Even with
I very much enjoyed this game.
But yeah, that's Windmill Valley.
Yeah, and tulips look great in the yard.
Tulips do look great in the yard. I don't disagree with you. And they're easy. You just plant them and they come back.
Year after
they're
year.
Awesome flowers.
Yep. Doug's a gardener, and I got some free tulips from Doug. I get free tulips from Doug every year.
Yeah.
And so my tulip garden continues to grow.
Yeah, tulips are great.
As long as your dog doesn't dig them up and eat them.
That's true. And then you have to make him get rid of them.
Yes, yeah, that's because they're not good for dogs. And that dumb dog followed right behind, dug them up, tried to chow them down. Yeah, he did not like us after we made him return those.
I bet he did not.
All right. Some of these that I'm not super familiar with, but I own. Cubidos. Monique taught us how to play this a while back, and then she taught it at, or at least played it at SaltCON Spring, and I was upset because I wanted to play that.
Didn't Will teach this? Will from Seattle, didn't he teach this at a Hug a MeepleCon as well?
He may have.
I think he did.
He may have. But it's a game that I own that I haven't played much of. Honey Buzz is another one that has a lot of buzz about it. To not play on it, I guess
You
I totally
totally
meant
did.
to play on that.
You did.
Yeah, but this is one that I have several expansions for that I need to get this game to the table, and I'm hoping that it's one that my wife will enjoy.
You guys, both you and Doug, wasn't it Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle Earth? Isn't that one that you both played fairly recently, right?
Yeah. I own that, and that kind of re-implements, not kind of, it re-implements Seven Wonders Duel and adds some unique mechanics in it, as well
That's
as
cool.
You're trying to get Frodo and Sam to Mount Doom, and you have this little plexi track that you're moving them along, and you have the Nazgul that are
Nice.
approaching you, and
That's
if
cool.
the Nazgul catch you, then you lose.
So it's one where one player's trying to win, but you could both lose the game.
No, it's
Each player has their own.
Oh,
Frodo?
man. No, I can't remember. Is it cooperative?
Was it a cooperative game?
Oh, I don't think it is. No, I think one player is playing as the
Nazgul.
as the shadow, and one player is playing as
that's
the
even
Fellowship.
cooler. Okay, wow.
Yeah, no,
Nice.
it is a head to head. Yeah, all coming back to me now. Yes,
Don't start singing Celine Dion.
she's singing that. Now I'm trying to picture that song.
It's all coming back to me. It's all coming back to me now.
I still don't know.
It was popular when you were a young man. Let's just say that.
Okay, I'll take it. It's funny. Acquire's on here.
I love Acquire.
And I was surprised that you didn't bring it up.
I was going to.
Okay, well, I'll let you talk
No,
about
you
it
don't.
then.
You brought it up. Let's talk about it. So it's a great game.
It's very similar to, not very similar, but it has similar elements like Foundations of Rome, where
Yes.
there's the grid and you're trying to acquire the spots. It's funny. We played that years ago, and playing with your cousin Dennis. In fact, I think it was his copy that he brought, and he loves the game, and not everybody that was playing was loving it.
Oh, okay.
And Brent Mayer was he was a little bit,
Spicy?
yeah, cantankerous,
Yeah.
and he would put his claim tokens and he'd put them face down. And knowing Dennis is very much as is David.
A rule Nazi?
Not necessarily a rule Nazi,
Oh,
but
a little OCD.
a little OCD.
Yeah, he's gotten better. Dennis has gotten better.
Yeah, Dave has to. But Brent would put these tiles face down, and just to get under Dennis's skin, and you could see the whole time.
He's just like,
Yeah,
fix your stuff.
yeah, and he would leave it, and that he was getting mad. Is nobody gonna check that? Is nobody gonna check that? Is nobody gonna check that?
That's hilarious.
But it is a game where you're trying to, again, similar mechanics as Foundation of Rome. You're trying to get those orthogonal connections to expand your buildings and expand your income that you're producing, and to be able to grow and build better, bigger, stronger.
And get the most stock in those companies,
Yeah.
or sell at the right time,
Yep.
right? Yeah, that's.
Sell cheap, sell high, buy cheap.
I was gonna say, did you lose this game?
Probably.
That's why.
Yeah.
Sell cheap, buy high.
Yeah, that was so my motto.
It all makes sense. Awesome. So I just realized we are out of time. So I'm just gonna touch on a few others that fall into this. So we got Queen Domino, where you have the structures, right?
This is one I need to play again because I like King Domino.
Queen Domino is so much
And
better than
Queen Domino is kind of more of a gamer game.
a little. I mean, it's still light, but yeah, it is. It's way more of a gamer game than King Domino is.
Yeah.
Mostly because of the market. You have the buildings that you can build at the construction sites, and those will do. They can give you towers. They can give you soldiers. Yeah, it's way better than King Domino in my opinion. There is the expansion for King Domino, the Giants expansion, which I have, but I've never used. I've never played it with.
Same with you. Same with you.
You're with me.
Yeah. Whatever.
We all know what you meant, Nathan.
Sure.
Catan. So Catan falls into this.
It does.
I think we are both on the same opinion that Catan's not even worth playing unless you play the Cities and Knights expansion.
Absolutely.
Because it just has to have the Cities and Knights expansion. Otherwise, why?
Yep.
I'm trying to see if there's. We played Distilled. You used to own Distilled.
I did, yeah. This is one that I'm having a little bit of regret selling, or that I sold it. But and mostly because now it has a BGA implementation, and I want to play it again. But
You still can.
I still can.
Just watch a video and play it.
I could, but there is something to be said about playing it in person.
For sure. Now I'm on board with that, Nathan.
Yeah.
And then finally, the last one I own that I actually have played this once. It's been a long time, and that's Archipelago. That is a fairly beefy game. There's just a lot going on in that game. It's not heavy, but it's more than medium heavy. It's a 3.74. It says it's best at 4 players, but the play time is 30 minutes to 240 minutes. So It's one of those longer games, especially at a higher player count. I honestly think that it is probably best at 3. But like I said, it's been a long time since I played that game. I remember it being quite enjoyable to play, but it's one that I have meant to get that to the table, and I have not been able to for years, just because I look at the rule book and it's just daunting.
Yeah.
When I don't have time to read this whole thing all at once, and it just gets set down. You know how it goes.
Yes.
I don't put it in my Firefly box, but I tend to put it in my drawer in my nightstand, and then it just sits there for forever.
One that I wanted to play, last couple I want to touch on here, Gentes. Julie taught this at SaltCON in the spring, and this was when I was really anxious to get to play, but I didn't get a chance to play it because of conflicts. And then the last one, River of Gold is on this list.
It is, yeah. I was surprised you hadn't talked about that one.
Because I totally overlooked it. But River of Gold is such a great game, one that I'm teaching at SaltCON summer, and one that was in my highlights, wasn't it?
It was.
This week or last week? It was this week.
It was this week.
And such a great game.
Such a long time ago that we talked about
I
that.
know. It was. I've slept since then. Yeah, that one, and Veil of Eternity is another game that I own that is one that I was really anxious to play and really liked it at first, but it kind of deflated on me. But it has an expansion that I need to give it a shot and see how the expansion. There's 2 expansions. Another one coming out this year, the Veil of Eternity Curse, and Artifacts is the other one that is out already that I want to include and haven't tried that. But a second expansion, that's tantalizing.
Well, one more that I want to touch on, and we talked about it last week, and that was, or a couple weeks ago, and that is Architects of the West Kingdom. So I'm not going to go into that a whole lot, but that game is it is my favorite of the West Kingdom series, and it does have the market that you have an option to visit and partake in.
Visit and partake in. I like it.
Yeah. All right. Any others you want to cover, Nathan, on this list?
No. I think that's. I think that covers everything that I wanted to hit on. I mean, there's still some stuff that's on this list that we didn't
there's
get
a lot.
to.
There's a lot of stuff that we didn't get to.
It's not a complete list by any means. So, but I will add these others to the show notes just in case you wanted to see what we didn't talk about.
Yeah, I totally jump over to the show notes, check it out. There's lots of games that fall into this category. It's a cool mechanic. I really do like the market mechanic, especially ones that you can have a little bit of control over and manipulate to best fit what you're trying to do strategically in the game. We have a lot of games that use this mechanic as well. So.
Yeah, I like these games where the market fluctuates. I think that's probably one of my favorite elements in the market.
When timing matters, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let us know if there's a market game or if there's a game that has implemented a market element or a market mechanic that you like in particular that we haven't talked about, or maybe we did talk about one of your favorite implementations. Let us know at meeplenation@gmail.com. Until next time,
we will see you. Buy, sell, go, to the table. Now there's an echo. Sorry. Lame. At the game table.
Thank you for listening and being a part of Meeple Nation. If you would be so kind as to follow, subscribe, share, and rate or review this podcast, it really helps to spread the fun. You can be more involved in supporting the podcast by joining the nation at patreon.com/Meeple Nation, or you can find a link at the top of our webpage, meeplenation.com. And while you're there, look at all our extra content. There are links to all our past episodes, a wide variety of blogs, pictures from our Instagram feed, and bios for all the hosts and our awesome bloggers. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all under Meeple Nation. If you would like to chat with the hosts or other members of the nation, you can join our Facebook group, Meeple Nation Off Air. We hope to see you again at a game night, a con, or maybe a suspense-driven evening of werewolf. Thank you for listening and supporting Meeple Nation, and stay tuned for next week's episode.
Thank you so much for listening. We very much want to thank our patrons who help keep the podcast running. I personally want to thank my co-hosts for all the help they provide with both content here on the podcast, in addition to what we have available on our website. Without them, the podcast would not happen. If you too would like to support the podcast, you can join the nation at patreon.com/Meeple_Nation. Or you can find a link to Patreon at the top of our webpage, meeplenation.com. If you have any questions, comments, or games you feel should be on our radar, you can always reach us at meeplenation@gmail.com. We can't wait to hear from you. I am grateful to Doug and Andy who helped me edit episodes, and I want to thank James and Kim Clark who do the editing on our blogs and on our webpage, which can be found at meeplenation.com. We want to thank Brain Detergent for our music. If you want to find more from him, you can follow his links that can be found on our webpage, or simply search for Brain Detergent on YouTube to find more of his tracks. Thank you again for listening and being part of the Meeple Nation community.